It is Tuesday, February 22nd of 2022. And it is just a gorgeous day. And I'm so delighted to be out and about today on Guy's Daily Drive. Bam! And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Guy's Daily Drive. I am so glad that you could join me today. It is greatly appreciated. Martin is joining me live. Hello, Martin. And I'm so glad you're going to be able to get out and about starting tomorrow. That really sucks what happened. And I won't go into it, but it does suck. And I'm glad he's feeling better. So, normally, Guy's Daily Drive is on Mondays and Fridays. That's the typical days I've been recording. Not that I'm on a set schedule or anything. But yesterday was a holiday, so we had a beautiful 3-day weekend. And it wasn't bad as far as the weather goes. This weather is just outstanding. Almost up to 60 degrees now, so I'm not even wearing a jacket. I feel naked without this jacket on. You know, it's so great to finally have a little bit of warmer weather. And of course, it's not like that everywhere. It's for middle part of the U.S. It kind of sucks right now. But this too shall pass, and we're halfway through February, which means that it's usually about just another month and a half. And most of this will go away as we slide into spring. And I'm really looking forward to that. So what made this weekend good? Besides doing the My Mac podcast with Gaz on Saturday, and that was a really fun show. I had a really good time recording that with Gaz, and it was fun and funny. And next week is the big 600th show, and by big I mean it'll really just be our regular show where we talk a lot about it being our 600th show. We don't have anything like super exciting planned for the show. I don't think we have anything really planned for the show. So it's basically going to be a normal mymac.com podcast where we acknowledge the fact that Gaz and I have 600 shows under our collective belts for the My Mac podcast. So that's basically where that is going. But as far as the weekend goes, we did something yesterday evening. We invited some neighbors over. They had given us this pizza kit. Tracy mostly had been helping them out with getting to some of their doctor's appointments and so on that they needed during a recent bout of not being well, not related to COVID. And so they had received, they basically kind of re-gifted us this pizza kit. And that's fine. I love gifts like that where you can make something of it. So one part of this gift was this big book that had like a bunch of different pizza recipes in it, as well as probably 10 to 20 different ways to make the dough. And I was kind of looking through it, and I was like, ooh, this one looks interesting. And some of them are, even though it's pretty much just 4 basic ingredients: flour, water, yeast, and salt, and sometimes a little sugar, but that's the 4 basic ingredients for dough: flour, water, yeast, and salt. But this was different because once you kind of hand mix the ingredients together, you don't like over knead it. And then you put it in a warm place and it sits for 12 hours. 12 hours this dough is supposed to sit. So I actually made the dough up Sunday before I went to bed, and we don't have like a proving oven or anything like that. So what I did was turn the oven on to a low setting, and then once it got up to, I think the lowest setting it has is 170 degrees. Once I got it up to that low setting, covered up the dough, and then turned the oven off, and then put it in the warm oven, and left it there overnight. Well, I got up the next morning, and yeah, it really hadn't risen, and I think a lot of that has to do with the yeast that I have. I think is not good yeast. I think it's just not doing what it's supposed to do. And I kind of noticed that the last time I made bread, where I had, you know, it didn't rise. It just didn't really rise the way I thought it should. So, but it was too late to make another batch, because I didn't have 12 hours at that point. So it was like, okay, I'll just rise it again, you know, make it, you know, knead it a little bit and form it into a couple of balls, and then have it try to make it rise again. So I put it back in the oven, turn the oven on again, and when I finally took it back out, probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock, it never rose. But it was like, okay, well, it's dough and it's a ball, and I'm going to use it to make these pizzas. So I laid it out, and I was making them, I can't remember what the style is called, but it's basically super flat. It's not like what you typically see in an American style pizza. It was more of an Italian style pizza. So super flat, with all the ingredients that basically go from end to end. You don't really have like a separate crust area on the edges. But they were really small, really, really small. Probably 12 inches or under total width. But there were two of them, so oh, you jerk. Just stupid traffic jokes, or stupid traffic games. So, one pizza I laid out as like a margarita pizza, so it was a little olive oil, some specially blended pizza sauce that I made with canned tomatoes. Oh, that stuff is so good. Some basil leaves on top, and then a little mozzarella. Then the other one was more your standard pepperoni, you know, sauce and cheese pizza. And so the neighbors came over, and we didn't have really much other than these two pizzas, and I felt that, you know, probably should have, and I don't know why I didn't think of this, like we should have had some like appetizers or something made up as well, but didn't really plan for that. So I looked around, and what we did have, we had some Triscuit crackers, of course, mozzarella cheese, and oh, one ingredient I forgot to talk about with the margarita pizza. I also put on some prosciutto ham, and I had some left over. So it was like, okay, so let's take these Triscuits and put the rest of the, you know, kind of cut up the prosciutto ham, put that on top, and then put some mozzarella cheese on top of that, and bake that in the oven for a little bit until the cheese melted. And it came out really good for a quick and dirty little appetizer. So we had those, and then put the pizzas in, and Joe, I've talked about Joe before. Joe is a audio engineer. So I took him downstairs to the setup. I told him I had a new microphone, a Lewitt, and he wanted to see it. So I took him down, and we looked at the Lewitt microphone, the 440 Pure. I've used it now for 3 weeks in a row. I don't know, other than the Shure SM7B and the Heil PR40, I don't think I've ever used another mic for more than 2 weeks in a row, because I'm so fickle when it comes to microphones. So he was looking at that, and he was duly impressed and made me feel good. So that was a good purchase, I think, even though I didn't really need another microphone. And then I showed him the Elgato Wave 3 microphone and was kind of explaining how that worked with the software that it comes with. And I had also lent Joe, because I had two of them, a Heil PR40, and he was like, "Oh, you gave me that Heil PR40 to try out." It was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I've been racking my brains trying to remember where I got it." And this was quite some time ago that I lent him the microphone. So I think sometime in the near future I'll have Joe over, and we'll go over the Elgato microphone with its wave functionality. We'll try that out. Maybe I'll put it on the laptop, the MacBook Air that I have, and I'll show it to him that way. Just take it over to the house, because it's kind of all-encompassing. It comes with, I can't remember if it came with a stand, but it's got a shock mount, it's got a pop filter, and Lord knows I've got a stand I can put it on. I got plenty of stands. So, oh, don't turn red. Okay, I'm gonna make it no matter what. So we'll check that out and just talk the sound gear stuff, and I'll try to absorb some because this guy he's been doing it for 40 plus years. So he really knows his stuff. Whereas I'm just going to buy this microphone and connect it and see how that works. That's kind of the way I am. So hopefully that will be at some point in the future. But all in all, it was just such a great weekend. It was really fun to get together with the neighbors and have some small pizzas. Talking about doing it again sometime in the near future. Maybe what I was talking to Tracy about was like once a month, let's, the four of us, just go to a restaurant that we've never been to before that's in the area and try it. It just, they're good people and they're fun to be with, and we all get along. So why the heck not? Well, it's about time for me to wrap this up because I'm almost to work. So if you want to get a hold of me, you can send me an email, guy@mymac.com or podcast@vertshark.com. You can find me on the Twitters. I am MacParrot and VertShark over there on the Twitters. You can find me almost every single week on the mymac.com podcast with Gaz. Next week is our 600th show, 600 shows on a weekly show that we've done together, which is just, it blows my mind when I think about it. Just incredible. What else? Over on the YouTubes, you can, if you go over to YouTube and then you do a search for VertShark, my channel will come up, and if you would, like, share, subscribe. So do that, like, share, subscribe. Over there on the VertShark YouTube channel, and you'll get all the vids over there. There's vertshark.com, the website, where I repost all the odds and vids, including the special cut, I guess you could call it, of the MyMac podcast without the after show. But if you like to laugh, make sure you include, just go on over to MyMac and subscribe to there, and you'll get the after show. That's the really fun. That's the funny bit. That's the funny part. And thank you, Martin, for joining me live today. I always appreciate it. You can usually find me doing Guy's Daily Drive sometime between 7:30 and 8:30 on Mondays and Fridays, Eastern Standard Time. And just join me live and let's rap. Let's talk. As best I can anyway, while driving a car. and looking at tiny text on the screen, but I can't look at it too long because I'm driving. So that is going to do it. I swear that's going to do it. I'm going to get out of here. So thank you all again for joining me today on Guy's Daily Drive, and I will see all of you next time right here on Guy's Daily Drive. Bye bye.